today, you can pop across the Western Shore down in Murray Street, Urban Greek Restaurant, proprietors Saba and Yordigo. They cook up a mean Greek dish. So if you're looking for Greek food, Urban Greek Restaurant, Murray Street, Hobart.
Should be a test for Big Randall tonight. A big test. Gonna need to show a bit of Nico to you play.
Welcome to Warrior Park for a bit of Friday night football. It's the Eastern Shore Derby. It might be cold outside, but these are usually pretty hot affairs, these ones. Two teams that don't particularly like each other, to put it mildly, here to yammer our way through this one. On my right, Jake Morgan. Jake, welcome to Warrior Park.
Absolute pleasure to be here as ever, Andrew. And I think you're right, it will be a fiery encounter this evening.
Yeah, I'd expect nothing less. And on my left, Paul Hunt. Funty, what are we expecting tonight, mate?
See how it ends up with goals front later on. Might not be as close as a contest on the scoreboard as it will be out there on the pitch and tackles flying in.
Yeah, the Warriors certainly warm favourites for this one. They have been just flying. New management, of course. They've got their first home game under Kenny Weston.
And isn't that an interesting call, that one?
It is an interesting call.
You don't get bigger calls than that in football. Flying through in the cup. Top of the league, and the coach out of here and straight back to Queensland. It's really surprising stuff here, but you have to say they've picked up a quality replacement in Kenny Weston, that's for sure.
Well, I think they've instantly perhaps got the best coach in the league. We'll see. Unproven, of course, but I've worked with the man. He's phenomenal. Real Conte type. His players run through the walls for him. He's a great motivator, and I tell you what, he was a fired-up man on his final day at the FFT offices today. He was chomping at the bit to get out here on pitch tonight, and expect a pretty fired-up Warriors side here in the Derby.
Not pushing papers anymore like some of us up here in the commentary box. He's getting out there and doing the real stuff.
I think he just wanted to get as far away from you as possible, Andrew.
Yeah.
Well, he's not succeeded in doing that. He's now got to pester him weekly. Poor choice if that was his reason. But no, I think the chance to work out on the pitch with players every single day was the large reason for why he took the job. We'll run through the teams here, starting with Weston's Warriors, and he's given a couple of his former NDC charges the start tonight. One of them, Tommy Bellini, has been in pretty good form, the attacking midfielder. A return to the starting lineup for Shane Cartwright.
Oh, the big man, and don't I love this player. He really shields the ball well. Absolute bull up there in front of goal. Cartwright will be expecting big things from him today.
Yeah, interesting to see where Cartwright gets deployed tonight. Jacob Cull will be in goals in front of him. The Mountain, Lucas Hill. Jacob Lehman, I expect, might line up at left back. One of those youngsters who has worked with Weston in the past. Another one, Tommy Little, and played at right back or centre back. I think we might see him as a right back, but we'll wait and see. Nick Mearns will be the midfield general. He'll be up there. And up top, well, Jakob Schlanage. What more can you say about this fella? He has been banging him in for fun this year, and good luck marking him tonight.
I think he's going to have a bit of a field day out there tonight. I think I'm pretty comfortable predicting that he's going to pick up a hat-trick even this evening.
Big call, Jake Morgan.
Comfortable in a hat-trick. If he gets 3 chances, I'm comfortable in that. We'll rush through the teams because we're about to kick off here. Undy, Vandermeer, and Wadawu, the rest of the team for Clarence. Bremner, Burgess, and Wadawu, the rest of the team for Clarence. Bremner, Burgess, Hallard and Heath, the Englishman. Matty Lewis, who looks to be lining up at centre-back. Nick Naden. O'Neill, who comes into the side, a former George Dale medal winner up in the Northern Championship. He makes his debut after rocking up the club this week. Jeremy Price, Sam Randall, Sam Rydell and Jake Stewart. And we are off and underway here. The curtain raiser just not giving us a lot of pre-game time here as the Warriors take off. And Cara has lined up at left back, of course. Went over to South Hobart at the start of the season. Wasn't getting a look in there. He's come back to his club of last season, the Warriors, and he gets a chance today. It looks like Cartwright's just going to play in the middle of the park today. Had a good stint there last year with the Lions, and this one spills out a play away from Lehman, and Clarence will take over on the wing.
He seems playing very deep, Cartwright, almost in that Kante Makalele type role, letting others like Undy and Wadawu and everyone else just bomb on, which will be a very interesting aspect of the game tonight.
Yeah, really showing his flexibility there, because last time I was out here at Warrior Park in the season opener, he's opened up as the starting striker. Just seeing Clarence get into some nice positions here early on, but Richard Heath just can't quite get onto that ball, and it peters out for a goal kick.
O'Neill lining up at centre-back alongside Lewis, it would appear. And Bremner is also a bit of a positional shift. He's dropped back into central midfield. They've had some more mobile front two of Burgess and Stewart playing up there. Maybe just looking to harry and press the Warriors a little bit. They'll probably wait till they get in their own half and then bite at their heels. Bremner not really suited to that role, so he can drop back into the middle as the Mountain carries it forward. And his first time pass is bang average and it goes out over the hill.
Certainly a very different lineup to Clarence last time. Us three of us were in the commentary box for the Lakasel Jet Cup the other week. There's not too many similarities in both personnel and position. Obviously Heath still out at right back and the very pacey Stewart up front, but everything else is a bit of tinkering going on there.
Jablonski, the Tinkerman perhaps, is Vandermeer just lobs this one back to Cole. Stewart pressing and Cole just coolly slides it out there to the Mountain. He goes into big Cartwright, and he did play that midfield role really well for the Lions last year. I remember a game against Clarence where I think he set up 6 goals from that position, so he's more than competent in that role. He gave Clarence absolute fits that day at Wentworth Park. And this one's headed away, and Price will let his keeper come and collect it.
Yeah, he certainly put a bit of pace behind that ball. Saw his neck jut out at an interesting angle then, really copping it with a big hard cross ball there, but Darby just lobs it up the field towards nobody in particular, and it's comfortably headed away.
So Clarence take the throw in here. Into the target, Cartwright away from him. Interesting to see what style the Warriors come out with under Western. Looks like Andy's playing just behind Splatter, and Beline slightly wider. Wadawu out on the right. So I'm expecting them to look to hit the feet of Sklenov with any chance they get.
Had a lovely look at Wadawu in the Lacquer Cup last time, with the big man laying on about 5 assists, I think it was, in that game, just absolutely cutting a Nelson side to pieces down that right-hand side, but we should expect a little bit more resistance here today from this Clarence team.
I would have thought so, especially when you've got a tough customer like George Hallard who looks to pick out Naden, who has found another new position in this team. He's playing out here on the wing today, it would seem. And he's really just been plugged in all around the place for Clarence this season.
Left back last game, I think, for the Lacquer Cup, so that is, you can't get much more different than that other than getting into goals.
Well, I've seen him play wing, striker, central midfield, centre-back and full-back in the last 18 months, so very versatile, Nick Naden.
Yeah, he needs to get a stint as keeps, I think, on the back of that.
A modern-day John O'Shea, some would say.
John O'Shea. Obscure reference to start early here in the
fantastic,
sausage box.
Good stuff, good
that
stuff.
That is a name I'd not considered for a while.
Tell I've been watching United versus Arsenal old matches during the week.
I think he could get a game for Sunderland too.
And handball here will present the Warriors with a free kick in a very promising position. They've taken it quickly though. The cross comes in from Lehman and a safe pair of hands from Randall.
Just a little bit less on that cross, you'd think, and getting it into that near post area, and Sklenoj would have been right in there. And look at the pressure again from Sklenoj. Gets a little touch on the ball and really threatening the goal there of Derby. But he's going to have a very, very busy day, I think, out there, the goalkeeper for Clarence.
I think they'll be reasonably happy with this start, the Reds. Up for the contest. The coach this morning speaking about a need to become fit again. He said at the moment teams aren't concerned about playing us. We've lost that. It used to be a hard game for everyone. They know they'd have to earn the 3 points, and that's not been the case this year. All about winning back some respect as they've won the ball back here through Burgess. Bustling through was Mearns. Now Vandermeer sweeping around in defence to the big Mountain. And he goes across to Little. Little looking to run at them. This pass just away from Wadawu and out of play it goes. Down the line they go, headed away by Bremner, tracking back. Expect plenty of that tonight.
Yeah, either team not showing too much this early. Haven't quite seen any clear opportunities at the moment, but lovely little ball into the box there from Wadawu. Looks to Sklenner, goes back to Wadawu, puts it across to Undy and Bellini, but just couldn't quite get the shot on target there, and Clarence just bash it away.
It's a lovely little through ball there from Glenner with the back heel. Knew where his runner was. That's a nice challenge there from Clarence, as you see the ball played forward for Jakey Stewart to chase it down, but I think Vandermeer will have that covered most of the evening. He's got a few options down here right underneath us in the commentary box, and he's to go to Cartwright, who'll play it back wide to Little. He's got acres of space there.
Just
on the
looking at
right-hand
that
side.
Jakey Stewart interception before, this Clarence team really do put a lot on the shoulders of that young man. Always looking to get in behind the lines for a team that is often pegged back, but with a player like him who can get in behind the lines, they'd be hoping that they can put in a solid showing today, and hopefully he can steal a goal for them.
I think especially tonight, that's going to be even more so, as we've seen he's pretty much the only one in. Olympia's half harrowing down, and they've certainly got a nice block of 8 there. Clarence, as you see the ball played wide to Wadoa, and it's a nice challenge there from, I think that's Heath just putting it out there for a corner. See the replay on that. If he doesn't make that challenge, Wadoa's storming into the box there and maybe putting one on a plate for Schlenage.
And he does storm into the box, old Wadoa, doesn't he? Really like that player down the right-hand side. He's got
nice
excellent pace and excellent delivery.
Yeah, nice turn of pace as Wadoa, as we see corner about to come in. The one
So we just see the great man, president of Olympia, in here, George Mamarcus. Fantastic to have the man who's brought so many good players down into Tasmanian football, but won't be liking what he's seeing just there with Clarence getting a breakaway, but well challenged there by the Olympia defender.
He's actually managed to win the throw in there, which was a bit unexpected. We play it back to the mountain. Plenty of time on the ball. He's looking wide into the feet of Cartwright, plays it back to, that's Vandermeer, yep, back to Cartwright. Looking forward probably in the direction of Schlenage. Just not quite the opportunity open there, but goes to Wadoa, who cuts inside, looks to play inside. Nice little ball, and the shot is...
Mearns.
Yeah, Mearns just getting into a nice position there, just on the edge of the box where he can turn and shoot, and not quite getting the power and direction on it, but...
And Bellini was just lurking at that far post too, so potentially if the ball had just been a little bit better, they could have been in for the opener there, the Olympia Warriors. But unfortunately for them, it is just Darby Randall to take the free kick, rather. That is the first name and last name that is in the wrong order.
Yeah, not that old debate again, as we see the short goal kick taken out there by Clarence. It's dangerous ball inside. Wadoa intercepts that in for Schlenage. He's looking in. Great save there from Randall. Came off his line nice and quickly, but that is a suicide ball right into the centre of the park here from the defender. You don't... That on a plate for Wadoa. Nice touch from Schlenage. Maybe taking a little wide, but Randall's come out nice and quickly there to close that one down. Probably the first clear-cut chance of the game, I'd say.
And you have to say that Clarence can't give that up, as the ball is whipped into the far post area, but nothing particularly doing, and a little bit too much on that ball. The Clarence player could have potentially just let that one go out for the goal kick, but it is another corner to the Olympia Warriors just here, and it looks like Warren Wadoa is getting over the ball to take it.
In a welcome returning figure to this Warriors side, Wadoa. Missed some of the early parts of the season. He's overhit this one a little. The back post turned out good delivery. Cartwright now with a chance. He smashes it. Well blocked though by Heath.
Jeez, with the pace that he hit that at, it could have rebounded over his goalie's head. He's a big unit, the Cartwright man.
And he belted that one, the big fella. His maiden looks to work the lean off the ball. Does so well. Then cuts inside and then gets scythed down. And that'll be a slice of cheese for Nick Mearns. Kenny Weston talking about wanting to have Mearnsy flying into challenges. Well, he's got that, but perhaps a bit too reckless on that
I
one.
don't think he'll be wanting him to be doing too many of that for the rest of the match after that one. But it's certainly a clear slice of cheese there with both feet off the ground, I think, initially in that challenge. So the referee sensibly gives him a little bit of a warning early on and says...
He didn't quite have his body in the right position. He's just gone in for the challenge, left the right leg out. Don't think he quite got that second leg up. But anyways, we see the ball flicked in dangerously there by Clarence. Looks like Cartwright's going to shield that ball, and then I don't even know what that was.
A cuddle.
Yeah.
A little bit of a cuddle.
A bit of a cuddle from Bremen there. The two big fellas just coming together. Nice to see in the middle of the park.
Yeah, we like to see that. As we see the mountain, time and space on the ball. Just looking up for options there, back out to Mearns. See that played forward, back to Mearns. Right in that corner there where we can't see, so we go to the video screen. Ball breaks nicely for Schlenage, but a good covering tackle there from Clarence, and it's probably going to run out for a throw-in. See that taken quickly, just slightly over.
Maybe just gets onto that.
Schlenage and it's in. It's a great chase down there from Bellini, and from nothing, Olympia have hit the lead after 11 minutes. Glenage with the cool finish, but I mean, that looked like an overhit throw, and it's great hustle there from Bellini. And
You do
I
have
mean,
to
he's
say,
taken that
fantastic
quickly.
work to Bellini there. I think you can give full credit for that goal to him, and you have to say that Glenage nearly made a meal of it, putting it onto the post there, but just does enough to creep it in and deflects into his goal. So
And a goal really out of nothing. I mean, it was just a quick throw in, and I think all the Clarence players might have switched off, thinking it might have just skimmed off the turf and gone out, but Bellini tracks it well. And yeah, look, Glenage, 6-yard box,
yeah, you have to
9
say
times
that,
out of 10.
Yeah, you have to say that you simply can't give away chances like that if you're Clarence tonight, and they are certainly going to have their work cut out for them today. And I'm feeling a little bit better about my prediction of the Glenage hat-trick today. He's got one.
Yeah, well, 1 after 10 minutes isn't bad, but we see the ball breaks out, and Cole comes out off his line quickly. Just pick the ball up there for the quick release. Plenty of time and space on the left wing. Just not quite the options. Not looking for that quick counter-attack. Olympia is playing nice, patient build-up here. It's probably maybe some of Western new philosophy coming in there, but we see some good hustle there from Clarence, but Cartwright's on the ball, looking up. And down the line there, I think, say Bellini again chasing that down, but I think Heath's going to clear that one all day of the week.
I think you'll be pretty safe, though. Our view is completely obscured
Yeah.
if you go with Lehman or I think Bellini mostly down this left-hand side today. Glenna's just grabbed a hold of his Clarence opposition player and gives away the free kick there. Certainly giving him a little bit of a handshake early on there.
Yeah, he's got one of his predicted 3. He only needs another 2 scoring chances and we'll have hat-trick, but still get to see this fella miss. He's clinical. Just does not miss. Against Rangers last week. Just ridiculous. He's a pure finisher, as you'll see, and I think he's one who really will thrive under Kenny Weston as the Mountain picks it up and ships it forward in the Glenage direction. A lovely little flick, a heavy touch. Taken away. Lehman might pounce on it though. Naden out after him. Lehman tearing down the flank trying to get him behind. And in the end, wins the ball. So he's done well there, Nick Naden.
Yeah, really good pace and desire shown there from Lehman to work hard up this left-hand side. Can't really get anything though as Nick Naden just squared up to him with his shoulders pretty well there and wins the throw for this Clarence side. That's under siege early on, you have to say here.
Certainly under pressure. The Warriors playing a pretty good tempo there. Get the ball forward nice and quick and passing it around at a pretty good pace as this one's headed away there. Kept in by Mearns, down by Glenage. Tumbling Bellini got a foot in and then smashed away there by Lewis. Lining up in defence. Speaking of players who've played multiple roles this year. Back in a position, we've seen plenty of him down the years at South Hobart, in the middle of the defence. Here's Glenage again. Naden in there, away by Lehman. In the middle it goes for Hallard. And that is a little bit wayward. And tracking it down was Naden, but he's not going to be able to keep that one in there.
There's a good little turn there from Georgie Hallard, but he really didn't put in the kind of quality of ball that Nick Naden would have liked there. They need to show a little bit more this Clarence side. The ball's just belted forward onto the feet of Glenage, but he takes a poor touch there and gives the ball away to Clarence.
If ever there was a player who was going to be fired up for a derby and when you wanted a bit of a lift mentally, George Hallard is one you'd think would supply it. Almost seems to have toned things down a little bit this year. He's certainly not shy about flying into challenges last year. He probably led the league in cards. He was right up there, but
yeah, I do love his style of play though. It's a really proper English style of play, and not sure if the man himself will go for this, but I see a little bit of Joey Barton in the lad, certainly willing to snap it in. He's probably not like that in a social sense.
I'm not sure if that's a compliment, Jake.
As a player, I think it is.
Let's hope he hasn't been gambling on the NPL, unlike a certain Mr. Barton, as this one's headed away. A tumbling Vandermeer worked it to Bellini. Turns one way, then the other. Lehman's been heavily involved early, and that one's well read by O'Neill, who puts it behind.
A little bit of ice skating almost there. See that move in the Olympics sometimes there from Vandermeer.
This one's flicked forwards. Glenage picks it up. He jinks one way, then the other. Tries to get between two. The Reds do well to see it away from him, then work it in the Stewart direction again. It eludes him though. And it's not quite building out from the back at the moment. The quick throw taken, the Warriors playing with a real tempo early in this one.
You can see what Olympia is trying to do is just get it right back to their centre backs. Head up, looking forward. Definitely trying to, I guess, slice their way right through the heart of the Clarence defence. Not quite that time, but just every time there's a throw in, it's reset. It's almost like half court they're playing.
You have to say too that Hill and Vandermeer are setting themselves in really excellent positions early on. But we'll talk about this cross ball to Wadawo, who looks to just pass it to Glenage. Ball falls to Undy, and just off the crossbar there, nearly a goal, but Clarence quite haven't cleared the danger just here. Finally belted away, just down the throat of this man Hill.
I reckon Miranda got a hand on that. I reckon that's a top save actually from the keeper there. And he gets a little piece of that to put it onto the crossbar. But danger signs again, cut apart at the back. Cartwright goes into Hill.
Just as I was raising just before that chance occurred from the work of Wadawo, we've been really happy with this position because every time Clarence lobbed the ball out, you're finding that Vandermeer and Hiller are just about 2 metres back behind the threat of Jakey Stewart. So the ball's lobbed into this far post again, probably looking for Bellini, but not quite the ball of the right quality there from Cartwright.
I'm not sure if Glenage just meant that.
Yeah, and he has got a hand to it. That is a marvellous save and a fantastic eye from my co-commentator here, Andrew Cooley.
He's done well there, Randall. He's had a few tough weeks, so he'd be happy to make that save early in this one.
We're talking he'd need a big game, and with saves like that, it's very good to see him take the goal kick, and it's flicked on in the direction of Stewart, but again, between Cole, Hill and Vandermeer, they'll no doubt clean that up, and they do, with the big mountain on the ball. And looking forward, he's still got a number of options streaming forward for Olympia here. But plays it back to Vandermeer, back to Hill. And that Cartwright is just patrolling the centre circle wonderfully. As we see that chip through ball there to Glenage, just couldn't quite get the touch down. It's a beautiful through ball from Cartwright.
A little chip over the top there from big Cartwright, showing a real finesse that's typically acquainted with a raging bull like this bloke.
He's a very multi-dimensional player, big Cartwright. He was an absolute star last season. He's not quite hit those heights just yet this year. He's had a few injury problems, but he gets firing in the middle of this Olympia side. That's a real worry for the rest of the comp. They're already on top, and they've got plenty of improvements still to come as this one's headed away by Little into the bullseye for Mearns with the left foot. He chips one forward away by Heath. Naden up against Undy here on the near side. He goes back to Burgess, works it forward for Stewart. Nice little turn now, looks to get his head up and run at Vandermeer. Can he cut inside of him? He looks inside for support and well read by the mountain. He repels away and they've quickly turned defence into attack here, but well done, Billy Bremner broke that one up. Down the line again, looking for Stewart. Vandermeer back to his keeper, Cole. He's looked a fine addition to this Warriors side. His title winner over the last few years has had a top-class goalie, and the Warriors have definitely addressed that as Mearns goes to Cartwright. Now Lehman, who has been prominent early, marauding forward down the left. Good to see him back out there, even on the bench, Lehmo. Now in a pocket of space is Mearns. Jinks it inside for Undy, who drives, and Randall does well to get down to it.
An absolutely lovely build-up from Olympia there. Nice patient play, all past the feet, and they eventually found the space there. Lehman bombing on forward, and then the shot rather tamely hit there at Randall. But again, good signs from Olympia. You can certainly see why they're top of the table so far, just controlling this game.
Lovely work there from Cartwright, and the ball goes into Undy, who just cops a bit of a challenge there from Heath, and Clarence just have to lump the ball out for a corner there. Really brilliant touch and run there from Cartwright, you have to say, to create the chance immediately.
I'm not sure, that probably could have gone out for a throw, and it was a rather rash challenge, rash clearance, I should say, from Clarence there. You don't want to give away any unnecessary corners, especially with to see those two striding forward, Vandermeer and the mountain, Lucas Hill.
Just seeing Hugh Undy over this corner, looking to whip it into the box.
Got a few to pick out here, Undy. He swings this one to the back stick. Nodded well away though by Bremner. Warriors will take the throw in. They're big physical bodies in this Clarence side to be able to counter that. They get back in force there. The Warriors pressing. Wadawu gets back on it. He jinks inside. Still going with Dawu, threads it to Bellini. Lovely first time pass to Sklenarge. Tries to control, turns and buries it. Absolutely clinical from the Czech striker. It's 2-0 after 20 minutes. Welcome to the Jakob Sklenar show. Once again, it would seem. That turn, fellas.
But I think both myself and my other co-commentator have had the exact same reaction, and that was absolutely fantastic play there from Jakob Sklenarge. We talked him up in the pre-game, a little bobble ball, but that turn has completely fooled the Clarence defender. And he slotted that right in the corner. That's, to use a basketball term, it's a leg breaker, that one. He's absolutely turned in no end. And
well, to use an Australian term for that one, hooly dooly, what a turn. That was just magnificent from the Czech striker there. You have to say, created the chance for himself completely and just bamboozled the defence.
That is why he's probably the best striker in Tasmania going around at the moment. That was absolute pure quality there from Sklenarge.
Second goal of the game goes to number 18.
Maybe I should have gone for a bit more than a hat-trick for the big man after getting 2 in 20 minutes.
First half prediction, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. We'll put it down to that. Mentioned Joey Barton's gambling. Just curious if there was a market for that. I should have gone big on it, I think. So we just see Lehman getting on the ball. He kicks it across to Vandermeer. Passes across to his partner in the mountain. He looks up but plays a very poor pass that just isn't capitalised there by the Clarence boys. But they win themselves a throw. Which will be taken by Little. Ooh. Is that a foul throw, is it, do you reckon, Fun?
It didn't quite go in the field of play, but maybe it's just a bit more slippery out there than we thought in our luxurious club rooms we've been commentating from in here. See the ball in the centre of the park there with Mearns on it, plenty of time and space, looks forward to Sklenar, plays it out wide to Little, he's looking at him, he's got Wadawu out wide, hugging the touchline, cutting inside again, we've seen that all evening, but not quite well hit enough for Sklenar. As you can see, Clarence just hoofing the ball away, and Olympia with their keeping 3 at the back are just going to mop that up the entire rest, and the onslaught will continue, boys.
I'd have to say that if they're going to be playing this lumping style too, I wouldn't mind seeing Jakey Stewart playing a little bit more off the shoulder of those last 2 defenders, because currently they're just finding that absolutely everything is being intercepted, and they are playing quite a high line here, Olympia, so perhaps if they're going to carry that threat in behind and get back into this game, you'd really think that he's just going to have to stick right to the shoulder of Vandermeer.
Yeah, just sit him right on the halfway line to obviously avoid that any potential offside there, but yeah, I think that might be the idea there. You see the ball cleared forward and the foul given from just in the back there from Cartwright, bustling through to get to the header. Good little opportunity here for Clarence. It can maybe be interesting to see if they bring any of their tall timber up in this opportunity.
Have to. They've got to. I'd be having Randall taking this goal kick and just about lumping everyone forward here.
Surprised you don't want him up for the header there, Jake.
Yeah, we do love to see that.
Oh, they played that short.
Oh,
they've got themselves into all sorts of trouble. Goes into Bellini, racing it on net, takes a heavy touch straight down the throat of Randall. They butchered that one at young Bellini. That could have been 3-0, but disastrous at the back from the Reds. I don't know what on earth they were doing there.
Well, my father always taught me if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. So after watching that passage of play, I'm going to remain silent, I think.
So slightly better passage of play here from Clarence. Stewart on the ball, just hustling the defenders, but great little challenge there from Lehman, and we see Olympia attacking, but again, great tracking back. And we see Billy Bremner on the ball, trying to beat the entire Olympia team on his own. So that's a common theme here. That's surely a foul for a kick in the back there and from the mountain.
You have to say, lovely work from Jakey Stewart to even get the ball into Burgess in that position, who's won the free kick in a very, very threatening position for Clarence here. Really would like to see them curl this one in and bring a little bit of pressure back into this game, and I think Georgie Hallard will be over this one.
Yeah, let's hope they don't play it short like the last free kick.
Got to have it.
Don't think he has the opportunity to take it quick, so Ivan will get the ball where he wants them.
I think there'd be blood if Georgie Hallard was denied this free kick and it was forced to be played short.
I don't think there's any chance at all George Hallard's even considered or even considered contemplating taking this
Looking
short.
to the top right corner here. Georgie Hallard, what's he got for us?
Not a lot. He skies it straight over the top. Unfortunately, sums up the opening 26 minutes here for Clarence. It's not been the prettiest viewing from a Reds perspective.
Yeah, just leaning back a little bit too much, perhaps, on that shot. Not carrying a threat really so far, the Clarence boys. Really been penned back by an Olympia side that's just controlling everything at this stage.
Olympia just allowed to take the goal kick short there. There's only one Clarence player in that half, and as we see, only pounce on the ball, but Cartwright's just going to play that through and plays the through ball next to Undy. Looking out wide, overlapping run there from Little, not quite on. Back to Wadawu, who's covering Little's position. Bit of an under-hit pass again from Wadawu. Seen that a couple of times, and possibly Clarence look to break here as the pace up against the mountain. That's a great covering challenge there. As a former centre-back, that is my kind of challenge.
Oh, no. I think Jeremy Price almost would have felt a bit of that one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if you were a centre-back, you would love to have legs as long as the big mountain, because they can just reach from about 15 metres away and rip the ball away from you, as he did there.
Well, they used to say that Kosciuszko was the biggest mountain in Australia before this bloke arrived. He's a big unit.
Yeah, he's been in Switzerland. He's come from the Alps and just inserted himself here at Warrior Park, and what a carrying presence that he has been. Can, of course, play in a number of other positions, but I think he'd loathe to move him away from centre-back. He's a pretty good understanding with Van der May. Paul Stevens, of course, is playing there early in the season. He's out at the moment.
I'd say he was your dream centre-back. He's got the height, pace, length, passing ability. Nothing more I'd want in a centre-back than him.
As Bellini picks it up, a scything challenge there from Heath.
Oh, and he's got a bit to complain about there, Heath, surprisingly. But I don't really think that he can. Yeah, perhaps just trying to take that goal kick, the free kick rather, quickly. And they do. Mearns looks up but plays it across to Little. See Cartwright spread himself into a wider position. Wadawu gets onto the byline but takes a poor touch there and gives the ball away to Clarence pretty cheaply.
And a throw in will be taken by the Reds. Any technical difficulties here at the moment. Ashworth's doing his best to get the picture back up. A free kick on the far side going the way of the Reds in midfield, and they'll chip it along in the Van der May direction. It's over Naden's head. He goes back and collects now.
Into a good position here for Clarence. Burgess just receives the ball. We see Naden play it to Jakey Stewart, but there's 4 Olympia bodies around the ball to get that away quickly. Hallard goes the intercept again and tries to play for a cheap free kick. Oh, I really think that could have been a free kick there for the Clarence team there.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Absolutely ropeable. I think the...
Not sure if you
I
saw
thought
me.
the linesman had given it for a second there, but he's just signalled for the throw. Really unlucky.
Cartwright's gone the full-on rugby tackle there.
Yeah, that was as blatant a free kick as I've seen tonight.
Not that anyone viewing at home would have seen it, but we can assure you it was very much so.
We can absolutely assure
You
you.
have to take our
one.
word for it.
So anyway, we're on the right wing here, midfield. Headed away by Van der May, out of play. The ball just hugging the touchline at the moment. The Warriors tracking back. Clarence having a good couple of moments here. Plenty of Warriors shirts back though, and Lucas Hill will have one run. There's been a free kick paid for a little push out though, and Clarence with a chance around about 25 yards out here on the right wing. Richard Heath standing over the ball with a chance to swing something in.
Trying to see that tall timber of Clarence.
Look, it's
And a big shout out to the Heath family if they're listening over in England. We do love our fans because we know that they've been on before listening to the Slice of Cheese commentary. Big shout out to them as he hits the ball into the box, but nothing doing for the Clarence boys.
And take the throw in again. Here on the right, Naden presenting short. That's ignored. Eventually he goes centrally for George Hallard. Lucas Hill gets a foot in. Hallard nods it into the path of Burgess. Suspicions of a high foot there from Van der May, but he gets away with it. And again, Clarence will take the throw in.
Just for those listening at home too, you have to say that since we've been experiencing these technical difficulties, it's actually been all Clarence.
Yeah, they've had the Warriors rather pegged back for the last few years. They've looked quite structured and organised in defence as Hallard chips one into the box there, which Cole collects comfortably enough. We've got Ashwell scurrying across to the far side there, working on the camera as we speak, so hoping the pictures aren't too far away as Mearns
I'm just glad it's not me this time, boys.
Yeah, you're well away from the cables. We'll let you off with that one as the Warriors charge forward. Bremner with a fierce challenge there on Mearns. Just dropped the shoulder into him.
I wish you at home could have seen that. He's absolutely barged. He's
Nothing
lined him up,
wrong with the hip and shoulder
from
there.
about 10 metres away and just went bang right
Well,
into
you
him.
certainly see he won't be getting involved in any little combination plays if you knock a player over like that.
So the Warriors with a throw in here, and they're attacking half on the right wing. They'll take it short. It's Undy in tight areas. He looks it down the line, but he was tripped up there by Price, and a free kick now from the wing will be taken.
Dangerous spot, you have to say. Just as valuable as a corner. Free kicks in these types of positions.
Yeah, probably more so. You can play that teasing kind of ball where the keeper doesn't know whether to commit or not. It'll be Wadawa with the chance to swing it in. He's got plenty of targets to pick out because nearly everyone is forward here and everyone is back for Clarence. There is a sea of bodies in the box. Wadawa goes near post. Two Clarence players there. Stewart and Lewis conspire to see it away. It spills out now, and storming after that is Naden on the counter attack, but Cartwright just worked him off it with pure strength. Got it to Bellini, wide on the left. He cuts inside, sends it down the line for Undy, but it was broken up by Heath. And then a clearance from O'Brien just goes straight out of play on the halfway line. Throw in taken short, first time flick from Undy in the Bellini direction. Again, Heath got a foot in, and Lucas Hill just belts the ball into touch in no uncertain terms.
I wouldn't like to have a car parked in the front row of that one. It could be in some trouble.
I certainly wouldn't have liked to have my face parked there, that's for sure.
He belted that one, big Lucas Hill, put his foot through it. This throw in from Clarence goes over the head of Naden, but deflects off Lehman out of play. And on the right wing, just in Clarence's half. Heath to take the throw in. Warriors scrambling back. Naden the target. Vandermeer just muscled his way in front of him, then smashed it forward in the Sklenage direction.
Oh, it turns very well there, Sklenage.
But O'Brien kept on fighting, won the battle eventually. Then his clearance deflected off a body. Now Cartwright works it forward, but he's overhit his pass. Looking for Sklenage wide on the left, and out of play it goes. If you're just joining us, we're aware we've got no picture. It's being worked on. We hope we'll have it back soon. Cartwright nods this one and then wins his own header.
The good thing about the picture being down is you can just close your eyes and listen to the chocolatey tones of Andrew Cooling here commentating.
You lobbying for a pay rise or something, Jake?
Yeah, would love one.
Bellini slides in the middle. Lovely ball that. Undy picks it up in the middle of the park. Spreads it wide with a raking ball. Little was charging on down the right-hand flank, but he couldn't quite get to it.
I'm just happy to be inside this time. I'm not going to ask for one.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. The last time we did a game at Warrior Park, that was an interesting setup on a rocking. Tarps over a small-sided set of goals. That was very makeshift. Good to be back up here in the club room tonight. It's a throw in on the right wing. Warriors attacking half. Clarence to take. Thrown down the line in the Burgess direction. He just dropped the shoulder in on Madawu there when he realised he wasn't getting to the ball and gives away a pretty soft free kick. So, another chance for the Warriors to send some bodies forward here. Tommy Little standing over it, and a slice of cheese has been given out here.
Just wondering if that was potentially for a little bit of dissent. There was certainly a conversation going on there, and we have to thank the marvellous work there of Ash. He's got the stream back up and running again. Very well done.
The rescue act pulled off, and good timing too with the Warriors having a free kick here. It'll be a chance for Nick Mearns to try and swing something in.
We do see Vandermeer and Hill getting up into the box now, gathering around that far post area. I think that's where we'll be seeing Mearns putting this ball.
So he steps up, chips it in
Great
the
ball.
middle. It's a dangerous ball and headed goalward by Hill there and collected by Randall. He got it on target, did the Mountain.
And you could tell from the moment that that ball left his foot that was going into a dangerous edge. Quickly back to get the header away there to Lehman. Try and get his team back on the attack, but poor touch there from Cartwright and gives the ball away to Burgess, and Clarence win the throw. Just while we've had the stream down there, we do have to say that Clarence have really improved their performance so far, but this Olympia side will not tire, and they will not be afraid to try and run up the score here today.
I certainly agree with that, Jake Moinder, but as you say, the ball's actually been relatively in Clarence's half, but Olympia's a solid defensive unit. I'm not sure if that's some of Western's new training ideas, but they've played a very compact defence as we see Mearns with the ball, looking to play a lovely inside ball, but slightly overhit there, and Randall picks it up, and there's a little bit of niggle here. He's just kicked out at Wadawu. Just a little bit of niggle there from the two, as we talked pre-game. Teams don't particularly like each other, and that's Exhibit A there, as we see the ball lumped very high.
A little bit of Arsenal Spurs about this one, because we did have the Olympia Warriors moving over to the Eastern Shore a few years ago.
There's a chance presenting itself here for the Clarence, and Jinx inside, fires a shot just off target. It was Stewart. It was Clarence's best moment of the game. He cut inside nicely, but just couldn't apply the finish. And Clarence's best moment there. Some lovely work from Jake Stewart. He beat Vandermeer, all ends up, but he couldn't beat Cole, putting it just over the top.
Absolutely nothing wrong there with the play of Jakey Stewart. He's one-on-one, nice inside, made enough space, but just couldn't quite wrap his foot round it. Probably first clear-cut chance there from Clarence. We see a sliding tackle in there, but not even advantage given there from the referees. We see Vandermeer picks the ball up at centre forward, looks a long raking ball forward there in the direction of Bellini. He should have this one covered, and he does. So, yeah, just a little bit of niggles creeping in this game, a few little late challenges.
Yeah, that last little late challenge there, potentially worth a slice of cheese if he makes contact there, you'd have to say.
Yeah.
Could we be seeing a red card here tonight, boys?
Well, I mean, you were saying the Schlenar hat trick, you wouldn't have minded having something on. I would have probably had on a red card myself, as we see Vandermeer looks the ball forward for no one in particular. Nice little touch there to get away from it. See Billy Bremner in the middle, looking to switch it wide over the head of Little, but it looks like Cole will clean it up, and he does. Holds the ball back out to Cartwright.
I think Cole might as well be called cold tonight, because I don't think he's going to have a lot to do.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't rocked the long sleeve with this Tasmanian autumn weather out there. So we see another sliding challenge in there from Clarence, but no contact made. You step over here, I think that's Schlenar, who's probably dropped the deepest I've seen him drop all night, as the Mountains got the ball in the centre circle, plays it back to Mearns. He'll no doubt put a raking ball in, and he does. There's plenty of space out here wide. For Little, looks to jink inside. Plenty of time again, plays it into Schlenar, back heel to Wadawu.
Good work there from O'Neill to get the ball away when it was in a very dangerous spot on his debut here tonight for this Clarence side.
Yeah, not a player I'm too familiar with, but comes with very high raps from up north, according to all we've seen him.
Yeah, Georgetown medal winner. Playing at Riverside. Fine players. Wadawu cuts inside, slides it looking for Schlenar. Couldn't quite pick him out, seen well away from him. And now Stewart, who's got 3 to beat. He's going to try. He gets his head up, says where's the support? He had absolutely nothing. Nearly got through them all, but eventually numbers went out. Hallard sliding in there on Bellini, who just kept on keeping on, and probably fortunate for Hallard he did so. And then he gets taken out again.
I think we should call the ambulance now, boys, and have them ready and on hand, because somebody's going to get their leg broken tonight at this rate.
It was Cole, just cool as the other side of the pillow there. Jinks around and then spreads it out looking for Little, but even his long levers can't keep that one in. But
those studs that Georgie Hallard were facing up here in the commentary box as he slides in there.
Agricultural?
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, very agricultural. I mean, 10 years ago, that's play on, but with today's laws, yeah, surprised at that decision. You see, ball over the Wadawu, intercepts, cleared by Clarence. Back on the ball is Bremner. Just plays a thumping ball up in the air. Don't think either player actually knew where that was, to be honest, and Vandermeer holds his ground. Out-muscled there. It's 2v1 here. Bit of help there coming in. Now we see Bellini playing it inside. That's Undy on the ball. Looking to play down the left wing here. Back to Bellini. He goes back to the centre backs, and no doubt Olympia will spread it wide again and build up as Wadawu. He's got time on the flank there. Plays it back to Little. There's Cartwright inside. Eventually gets to him. Nice little triangle play there from Olympia, and I've probably just put the mockers on there. Warren Wadawu. He's overhit that one. You see, backside clears the ball. It's still in play, and Cartwright's going to chase that down. No foul given in the back there. Probably just good positioning for Clarence, and eventually out for a throw. It's a bit of a scrappy piece of play there.
You see much Samuel Ribel out there on the left-hand side? Fun to Andrew? Can't say I've seen him play before.
This season, no, hasn't been involved. He's come in today, obviously quite a few injuries and players unavailable. He gets his chance today. Played a little bit for them last year, and also just a big shout out to the Hallard family who are apparently tuning in, not just the Heath family. And as you can probably tell, we do bloody love George up here. Love his style.
Yep, we absolutely love it. I'm going to retract that comment about him being anything like Joey Barton right now. Or suspect some people might be on a plane over here to sort me out.
As through the middle of the park comes Bellini. Lovely ball that just skidded forward a bit too much for Sklenage. It just spun on him in the end. I thought he picked it out to perfection. Clarence now back the other way, straight down the throat of the mountain though.
Yeah, there's that man Hallard getting involved again.
You upset the Savile clan last time, and now the Hallard. You're a wanted man, Jake Morgan.
Oh, geez, he'd probably neck me like one of his chooks, old Sav, if he heard the comments that I make up here in this commentary box.
Here's Big Cartwright now, jumps on the ball. He's got an option out wide in Tommy Little, spreads it to him. Back to Cartwright. Reverse pass was neat, but Sklenage, I don't think was expecting it from him. Very clever stuff there from Big Cartwright.
He's been pretty quiet in the last 20 minutes, you have to say, Sklenage, as the Clarence side has
Well, he hasn't scored,
tried
so that's
to
pretty quiet.
take it over. Yeah, you know, he's really not offering enough for me.
As Burns with a chance now, he's jumping through it. He's brought down on the edge of the area. And a slice of cheese for Bremner. And, well, it'll be a free kick in a pretty promising position. Burns getting back to his feet, which is good to see. That couldn't have been too far away from a penalty, though I suspect Bremner knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one of those situations where, a little bit like the final battle of Lord of the Rings, bring him down.
Yeah, it was a bit too towels. Just Bremner, bring him down, and that he did. However, that wall did eventually blow up, and the Warriors might just smash one through here. Let's wait and see. Undy and Sklenage standing over it. I'd probably favour Undy to strike this one.
No, you've got to favour Sklenage for this one.
And he's not really been the set-piece man this season. And he has deferred to Undy, who steps up and smashes it through the wall, straight at the keeper, though, and a comfortable save for him. Didn't really get a hold of that one, Undy.
Yeah, an interesting decision with the shot there from Undy. Darby was certainly in a good spot there to hang on to the ball. Well on his line just there. Ball's just lumped away from Clarence again. Thrown into Vandermeer, who looks across to Hill. They're looking to spread the play again here, the Olympia Warriors. They're just looking field to Cartwright. Cartwright knocks it back to Hill.
2-0 up Olympia. They don't necessarily have to rush the ball. They can just wait. Just play the person that's open. They don't have to force anything. As we see Hill actually waving for the ball on the right-hand side there. Eventually gets it. See Wadawa dropping back. Pick the ball up. Splenner asking for it at his feet and does lovely turn. He's got plenty of time there. Plays through to Mearns, who's in a very attacking position. He'll keep chasing that one down. See a nice little toe poke.
Good desire there from Mearns, you have to say. And excellent positioning there from Vandermeer to get the interception, because Jakey Stewart would have been in then, and the keeper Cole was a fair way out of his box too.
Yeah, good composure from Heath down at the other end as well, as we see the ball played through there. Lovely little 1-2, but nicely cut out there.
Beautiful work there
from
Heath. Bellini and Undy, getting themselves into a dangerous spot there. And you have to say that Heath is going to have his hands full tonight on this side, in as much as Rival's going to have his hands full on the other side with Wadawu running at him.
Yeah, like Bellini's game so far tonight. He's been very lively out there, and Lehman certainly offering plenty of run down this side too, as Mearns picks it up. Well defended though by Lewis, slid in, saw it away. Worked its way out there to Little, and then it's put out a play by Price. We tick towards half time here. Just a little bit of added time, and they'll head into the sheds. And Jacob Sklenner 2, Clarence 0 the score. Here is Vandermeer. It's past, might pick up Cartwright. Hallard and Cartwright going at it now, so Bremner, and down he goes. There's Hallard, and just two real physical beasts going at it there.
Yeah, absolutely love to see a physical challenge down here. And up here in the box at Slice of Cheese, we love it.
Hallard winning the free kick on this occasion to be taken by Randall, and they might get one last look an attack here before Big Poison Ivy blows the whistle and brings proceedings to an end.
How did he obtain that nickname, Poison Ivy?
Yeah, you'd have to ask my predecessor, but I dare say being called Ivan was more than enough.
Oh, not bad, not bad.
This one's worked away by Lehman, and it sits there for Bremner, who fashions a shot, but it was always wide of the mark. And no threat to the goal.
Yeah,
Jacob Cole.
Didn't quite connect with that one. Bremner just lashed at it a little bit with his left foot and probably caught it almost with his shin rather than his foot there. But Cole gets the ball going quickly here for Olympia.
Surprised they've let the play go on, as we've had enough stoppage time, I would have thought. But we'll see Olympia. A few more passes, rack up the stats there for Mearns and Cartwright. So you see Hill pick up the ball again. Plays it through ball to, well, nobody in particular really, as we see O'Neill with the raking through ball. Just cut out there from Mearns. You see Blaney on the ball. Frantic challenge down in the corner there. Very tight work and good pressure from Olympia, but lovely turn out there from Heath.
I'm really not sure where this 2 minutes has come from. But
I think Poison Ivy's forgotten the watch there, as we see both players still battling hard there. And ball breaks down the wings, got Stewart, but Cartwright lovely tracking back there. And cool as you like from Vandermeer. May have overplayed that a tad. Goes back to his keeper. Nice chip over, just over hit right into the, nearly into the change rooms, and
still we go on.
And still we go on. I saw Poison Ivy in the Zebras Clarence game the other week.
He has a look at his watch, and it keeps going.
Way by Cartwright to Lehman. He centres it to Mearns, nods on. Sklenage up against O'Neill, flicked it through nicely to Bellini. Well done though by Heath to win it away. Sliding in there was Lehman on Naden. Not having a bar of that. Here's Ivan. And he says, you get back here and I'll have a word with you, son. None of that. And Clarence, perhaps, with a chance to get some bodies forward here in what will surely be the last action of the first half.
No, we said that about three
times. Yeah.
Well, it's got to be. It's got to be.
I think he must be enjoying himself out there, Ivan.
It's been a pretty enjoyable first half. Good pace to it. Good play out there. And Heath swings it in. That's not his best delivery. And away by Mearns. Another look at the watch, and that will do. Off we come. So at half time, the Olympia Warriors in control here. Sklenage with a double. And Clarence have got a fair bit change at the half if they're going to get anything out of this one.
And they're looking pretty comfortable, you have to say, the Olympia Warriors. They did take their foot off the pedal a little bit towards, from the 25th minute onwards, around the time we were having our technical difficulties. But they have been very good, and the threat in particular carried down this left-hand side by Bellini and Undy has really caused this Clarence side problems, you would have to say.
I'd certainly agree with that, Jake Morgan. And obviously the skill of Sklenage, especially in that first 25 minutes, was just on a next level there. Just that individual brilliance.
I'll have to compliment you because you've adapted to Sklenage a lot better than Andrew and I, because that is an R, and I'm very confused as to how we're getting a J sound out of it, but we'll go with it from now on. Sklenage it is.
Yeah, look, I've been promptly put my place on that one, so Sklenage it is. And
I'm taking a pure guess here.
I think it's the Czech word for Skinner. Skin's the opposition.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Ash Wilkes, he's not just a technical wizard, he's a pronunciation wizard. Hook above the R, apparently, is why it's that sound. Anyway, we'll leave you with that Czech lesson, and we'll be back shortly with the second half.
There you go.
Don't need any excuse to get Mutsch and Gladbach out. Just roll on the Umplat. I don't care.
I know. Talk about Mutsch and Gladbach.
Yeah.
Forewarning.
I want everyone out there to hear my lovely pronunciation.
Jeez, they're just lumping it out.
I'm particularly interested in how I reckon 50% of the people on both of these are playing.
Smithy Sharples.
Yeah, it's just last week's story.
Commentator's nightmare.
Is that Noah? Yeah. I'm not surprised that Kenny's got him on the bench. He loves him in the NDC.
Yeah, right. Alright, boys, I'm going to go over and...
No worries.
It's good timing with that Czech pronunciation. Apparently Czech was just on Eurovision.
How have we not made a Eurovision joke yet?
Oh, no.
How have we not done this?
Have you not seen my promo tweet? I'm like, if Eurovision's not your thing, listen to us instead.
Don't know about Eurovision. This isn't on, is it?
It's up your make some comments about Eurovision. No, maybe. Yeah, not taking a risk.
Employ your commentary theory if you haven't got anything nice to say. Nerd out for a minute.
Oh, he's coming. The battery was just dying for 5 minutes and I was waiting for
This
them.
battery, have you changed?
No.
Big, tall, Czech striker.
Young Collier.
Thank you kindly. I can only remember Milan Baros.
He's too good with his feet.
I know. It's too lazy in comparison.
Geez, you could hit a header though.
Oh, towering presence.
New battery.
I'll never appreciate young
I mean, look, if we want to have a... Yeah, have a bit of appreciation of young Clarence.
It's the cold weather.
Oh, Brzezinski on the other.
Alright, so you're off.
Yeah, okay, it's alright, yeah, so.
Get wide and cross the young Collier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I better go.
And it wasn't like
Give
the
it a go
anti-mugs
out
crossing
there,
in, I mean.
alright.
Especially playing first one of the old guys. This was so OP. You just feel like, get wide and cross it, big fella. Go.
I'm glad that Olympia are attacking this end.
Yeah. Left to rely less on the telly.
We'll get a bit of view of it, I reckon.
Nice.
Every time we've been down this side, I've been completely useless this early morning.
Wait till we get to the middle of winter and we've got the Wentworth Saturday night games.
Oh. Please don't tell me
The
I scheduled something.
Oh, Gilly stitches up a tree. Wind howling over the June. It's a very good point. Oh, Jackson, the monitor stolen from Saracens. Heads up, right?
Quick shout out to our sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Performance Automobiles up in Argyle Street. Horticultural Landscape Supplies, Steve Gavalis, South End Road. Salamanca Fresh. All over southern Tasmania. Virginia's Restaurant. Fantastic Italian food. Yes, Cagini's is a good pizza. And Urban Creek over there in Murray Street. Both squads are on the ground for the commencement of the second half. Current score, Olympia FC Warriors 2, Clarence 0.
Get off the pitch, you fat man. Yeah,
Back for the second half here at Warrior Park. We hope you enjoyed the halftime entertainment brought to you by Brian the Bristol Taylor, and Western Bulldogs and West Coast. But back to more local action.
We're going to infuriate some people with that one because there's certainly some one-eyes for the various codes, you have to say.
And we're off and underway here, and I thought Allard was just considering the shot there from the kick-off. He was eyeing off Cole, but he got back on his line and passed instead. We're underway in the second half as
watching the beautiful game and not the ugly game.
That's it, Jake, as Undy works it across to Vandermeer, wide to Lehman. Lehman turns back and returns it to Vandermeer. Can't see any shifts in personnel out there. Looks like both teams lining up as they did in the first half. Lewis with a glancing header back to his keeper. The ball was flying, but Randall's able to pick it up.
A little bit of a word from the referee there to O'Neill, I think it was, with Schlanage backing right into him. You can see him taking up that position again, and I wouldn't mind seeing a bit more of that from Jakey Stewart for Clarence, as I think Bellini gets onto the ball in here. He looks inside, and Schlanage for the hat-trick.
Blocked. Bremner.
Blocked.
Very nicely done there, Billy.
A very nice block there. I thought for all money, Schlanage was going to slot that one in.
Lovely work there from George Hallard.
Yeah,
good little turn.
He's a good handy player there, Hallard. Back to Heath again with just trying to outdo his Patrick there. We see the long raking ball forward.
Price, is it?
Price has jumped up top.
Yeah.
Well, there's been a tactical shift, if not a personnel one.
Thought that wasn't my eyes deceiving me. You see Cole eventually clearing that down the other side of the bank. Interesting
Real
manoeuvre there from
player,
Jabba.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Price, you have to say, because I think I've seen him line up everywhere on the pitch for this Clarence side.
I mean, I think that's the number one way to get in the Clarence team is just be able to play every single position possible.
Geez, they ought to be picking up Mills from Nelson then.
Good throw back there. It's certainly Price more advanced role than we saw him in the first half. Stewart still leading the line. There's the big mountain. Plays it out across to his fullback Little. First time pass from Mearns. Just his teammate a little under pressure there, but they work it down the line before Bremner comes across and belts it out of play ahead of Wadawu. And any spectators down there risk being decapitated by that one.
Yeah, it's lucky that Wadawu is a strong unit because he certainly came in with some force then.
Here's Undy shielding the ball. Works it to Wadawu nicely. Tried the return back heel, but Bremner was standing there. He was brought down rather unceremoniously, and that'll be a foul.
Yeah, and a good little word to him there from Georgie Hallard too, just letting him know that he didn't like that one. But a pretty clear free kick there from Wadawu, though certainly was making an effort to win the ball. Yeah, we're just seeing Matt Lewis over the ball for the Clarence side. Been a mainstay for this team.
Speaking of mains, that beard has just gone from strength to strength as the season's worn on there from Lowe. Very nice work. His Price works it in the middle for Bremner. Spreads it wide for the overlapping Heath. He charges down towards the byline. Can he get a cross in now? Recovering tremendously with Lehman, but then fouled him.
Oh, marvellous work from Heath down this right-hand side. Not only to first beat his man and then win the free kick, but he jinked himself back to put the ball into the box on probably his left foot and had just left the Olympia players for dead. And
Lehman collects him and collects a slice of cheese for his trouble.
Nice little Cruyff turn
is it?
there.
Oh, I haven't seen that slice of cheese go up just yet. Just waiting for the shoelace to be tied, I think, before dishing it out, perhaps.
We'll just await confirmation on that one, but he's certainly either writing his memoirs or getting him in the book there, is Ivan. He put something back in his pocket. I'm pretty sure there was a cheese in there for Lehman. There's a chance now for Clarence from the free kick. Swings it into the box. Oh, Vandermeer didn't deal with it. Cries for handball. Nothing doing. And play on is the kill. The Warriors now looking to hit them back the other way. And they're breaking out here. Sklenarge bursting into space. But the pass completely overhit. And let off the hook a little there.
Yeah, and they were breaking at some considerable pace there, the Olympia Warriors, after coming under threat from the free kick from the Clarence fellas. We've seen Jakey Stewart get on the ball there. Does really well to hold off the challenge, and he looks into the box. Cut out there by, I think, Cartwright. Really, really dangerous looking attack there from the Clarence players. And
great hustle from Jakey Stewart down this corner, and he's managed to put Big Vandermeer to the ground. He's had all courts of time and space, and I think that's cut out there. Might have been Mearns? Cartwright.
Mearns or Cartwright, we just can't quite tell on that one, but whoever it was, good defending as the ball is swung into the near post, but not quite enough onto it. Olympia looked to break again at pace, but Matt Lewis gets in. Set out to Heath, who lobs it up, really. A bit of a hospital ball, that one. And Jakey Stewart with a good little header to get himself some space, but can't quite get enough to create the chance.
It's been a theme of the night there from Jakey Stewart. Now he's had the opportunity, sort of created himself. He's either passing to himself, heading it to himself. He's doing it all. One-man show there as we see the ball on the left wing. Nicely cut in there. Just a nice covering challenge, but the foul given from Poison Ivy. Assuming that's from, I guess, a slide tackle from behind. I don't think there'll be a cheese given at all.
He certainly told him to go away with a few roses of the Italian hand right there. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, don't think he wants him anywhere near in his sight there, and it's with the 10 paces back, and everyone will get set for the free kick. What are we predicting here? I'm thinking maybe on the head of Sklenarge for the hat-trick.
Always seen Lucas Hill take up position just here, looking to run towards that far post. I'm expecting this big man to get his head to it, and they look to him, but driven in to the wall and very low there. Disappointing free kick, really, and Clarence looked to get on the ball, but they can't find Price, who is making a run. Ball's given away again to the Olympia. Poor touch there from Mearns, who can't quite hang on to the ball, and it peters out. It looks like Ribal got a little bit of a touch on that one.
Yeah, I think he just managed to nick the ball away there from Mearns, who takes a second now. We see Hill on the ball looking up for Sklenar, but slightly overhit there, and thump cleared from O'Neill. Foot race down in the corner, but I think that's going to roll out for a throw-in. A bit of a scrappy first 5 minutes, not really as much flow as we saw towards the end of the half, as we see. Surely it can't be a substitution this early.
It looks like
it is.
It is. That's going to be the end of Jacob Lehman's day, it would seem. And youngster heading off, so Weston looking to his bench, and
Price.
Who we got coming on there? Salmon, is it?
Got number 12.
Certainly about the size of Samet.
Brayton Allen I've got on the team sheet.
Right now, another one of the Olympia youngsters out there. There's no shortage of them. And Weston would be quite familiar with a large number of them. So Allen coming on here, and Lewis anticipated that nicely, got in ahead of Sklenarge and works it out.
I have to say that Matt Lewis has done a really, really good job on Sklenarge since that opening 20 minutes where he dobbed 2 on him.
Yeah, pretty decisive 20 minutes. Unfortunately for Lewis, as this one has seen how to play there.
I'm surprised that you haven't pulled out one of your much vaunted nicknames for your mate, old Matty Lewis, out there cooling. What have you got for us there?
Oh,
how many can be said on air?
Nothing off the top of my head.
Oh, I expect better from you, I have to say.
Well, we could roll with Pumby if we really want to roll back the clock.
Oh, Pumby.
That one's put behind. He's probably got a teammate, very similar nickname. It might get a bit confusing if old Pumba gets back in the team.
Well, it's got to be a derivative of old Pumba, doesn't it?
No.
We'll leave it at that, will we?
We'll work on that one. We'll let him off, I think, Louis.
The goal kick thump clear by Randall, but Vandermeer's going to be under that all day. Flick on from Glennar, but nice covering defence there from Heath.
Neil
He's
just
copped that one.
Copped one in the mouth, and the referee would not have been able to see any of it. But the linesman has flagged for the throw there. He's just copped a beating in the mouth there, O'Neill.
Yeah, right in line of us. We had a great view of that up here, but
Just about at the referee was at about the 5 o'clock position of that one, so not in a good spot to see the whack to the mouth. It's just lobbed forward there by Ribal. Headed on by Price, but Jakey Stewart cannot get onto the ball in that obscured view of ours.
yeah, it seems like it's going to be a Clarence throw in though. That could be why he didn't bother to chase that down. As we see Rival walking up to take the throw in, probably going to go long in the down towards the corner there in the Stewart direction, I'd say. It's a low flat one, flicked on, but thumped clear there from Olympia. Ooh, a misjudged header there with Dawu underneath it, just pushed off the ball, which is quite rare, but Cartwright comes barging in saying, I'll have that. And he does, back to Hill. Bremner picks it up in the centre of the park. Nice touch from Naden there. Got a bit of pace on him, but it's probably going to be 3 Olympia players to beat, which is a couple too many, but it's called back for a free kick to Clarence, I think.
It is, and Lucas Hill's already on a booking here, so he'd be very nervous as he just gets a talking to on this occasion.
Yeah, perhaps a little bit of a tug there from Hill. But you have to say, it was really well done by Nick Naden to even get into that position, given that he had 3 bodies around him. So kudos to the man, and wins a free kick in a very threatening position for his team just here. Looks like we've got the left back Ribal over the ball.
I would have thought this might have been Hallard territory, but we see Ribal with a little cheeky early one, but smashed right into the wall.
I wish it was Hallard territory.
Yeah, two hands in the back there from the new man, Allen, taken quickly as we see space out wide for Bremner. That's a sliding challenge there from Olympia, and
there's a big shout for a penalty
It
right
is a
there, and I
very,
think that it's a
very
pretty
big
fair shout, to be honest, because he committed and certainly appeared to take the play. We'll be looking back to the replay of that in a second.
we certainly will, as the foul eventually given there on Allen looking to take it quickly. But that had shades. I don't want to bring back some awful memories for the fans out there, but that had a bit of Grosso Lucas Neal about it, that challenge.
Paul. Why'd you have to do that to me for? As this one's chipped in dangerously to Sklenarge. Gets his head to it and puts it over the bar.
You've triggered me there, Paul.
11 years on and still a soft spot for us all.
Nah, you've triggered me. I'm not happy.
Can't be doing that.
It was a brave move. I thought I'd try it. Got to take a risk sometimes.
I'll have a replay on that incident up the other end if we get a chance, though. It was certainly
Worth a shout.
Had the Clarence players up, that's for sure, as in the middle of the bullseye it goes and picked up by Bremner. To set it out in front of Naden, but he hadn't made the run. It was well too far ahead of him anyway, Vandermeer.
And they've been looking to that man, no one in particular, a fair bit tonight, Clarence, you have to say. Been quite an option for them today.
A bit too often, some might say. So throw in, headed away by Mearns, Sklenarge. Well anticipated by Heath. Oh, skillfully done there by Stewart. He's battled hard up top, Stewart. Hasn't had a lot of support at times, but can't question his endeavour as this one's nodded into the path of Burgess. And Vandermeer did just enough to get it back to his keeper.
Good calm defending there from Vandermeer, you have to say.
See him get the ball back after that. Or he's diving header back to his keeper. He's played him a bit short there, and Bremner streaming forward.
Well
one to beat.
intercepted by Bremner, but he just takes a poor touch there, unfortunately, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's won that well. He's going to touch it around the Olympia, but he's hit that a bit too hard. And a nice intercept there from Bremner, as we see the new man Allen on the ball. Probably barged off it there and was by Naden. See that replay again, and
Yeah, that's a pen.
yeah, that's
a clear pen.
That's a pen.
If you're asking me, I think it's almost worth a slice as well.
Yeah, a bit unlucky with that one. So Clarence, every right to feel a bit aggrieved. And speaking of aggrieved, Windows updates doing my head in. Just got to go off on a tangent here. We'll get back to the actions. That's a cross every bit as bad as a Windows update coming in midway through blocking a game, not letting you get access. Bill Gates, lift. That is disappointing. Horrendous.
Well, he's not happy. Well, you'd be better off sticking with him than going with the old Steve Jobs machine, I have to say, Cooling.
Well, I'm reconsidering my position. I've been a staunch advocate of the PC, but if you're going to force me an update in the middle of a match,
Windows
can't be having
10
that.
problems, that is.
Yeah, can't be having that. As this one spills out of play. And the Warriors will take the throw in. So if you are following the blog and wondering why we've gone quiet, that's probably why.
Blame Bill Gates.
Cheers,
Yep.
Mr. Gates.
See Lucas Hill on the ball with Dawu.
As we return to the football.
I think there's a football match on
Not
out
like
there.
us to go off on a tangent.
No, not at all. All my references been from about 2006 tonight, but as we say, Cartwright calmly win the ball there from the throw-in. Plenty of time and space out there for Little. Play it through, but O'Neill picks it out. Ball direction of Sklenner, but not quite. There, as we see Mearns. Ball plays it forward to Cartwright. Looks wide to Dawu. Got the 1v1 matchup. He hasn't had much all night and cuts inside. A little bit of a heavy touch, but keeps it. 1-2 there. Lovely ball there, but Mearns couldn't quite get his body position.
That was some really
right there from the
marvellous
shot
work
there.
there from Warren Wadawu. Got himself into a really good position and almost took a little bit of a heavy touch, but got himself into a nice spot to play a good little combination move.
Certainly nice build-up there from Olympia. Not quite the finished product. As we have a look at it again, just nice and 1-2 with the forward partner there. And not sure if Mearns was onside or not. That might have been his concern as why he didn't stick a leg out, as our co-commentator Andrew Cooling is now violently hitting the enter button. But
Google
with
Chrome
Google.
have just made the
Yeah,
list with
Chrome's-
Bill Gates.
he's on your hit list. They're on your hit list as well.
Here's Lucas Hill, the mountain.
Speechless, boys.
He works it forward to Undy. Well anticipated again from Lewis. He's been really good at that. It's a real strength of his game. He got in ahead there. Hallard now through the middle. Worked it back to Bremner. He smashes it in the Naden direction. Out there with Sklenage, who just worked him off it, used his body. Pass Salt Cartwright a little short, but he wins it back for his side. Now Mearns. A little pirouette in midfield, then goes to the mountain. He's looking to get forward here. Lucas Hill. Some fancy footwork from the big fella, and he wants it back. He's streaming for the ball back. Give it to him. Does so. Now he works it back to Allen. Back to Hill. Getting heavily involved here, but he's opposite number. And Price just thumps it forward.
I think you'd describe him as a ball-playing centre-back after watching that little bit of play. Lovely work there from Lucas Hill. Really in a position too where they need to get that attacking threat from their centre-back, this Olympia side.
Not sure where else they could get the attacking presence from Olympia. So as we see,
Heath with a good little imposing challenge there to snuff out the threat. We see Undy get onto the ball here. Wins another throw for the Olympia Warriors. Heath again just knocking the ball out of play, not letting them get into their box here.
certainly shut them down well the first including the first half, but this first 15 of this second half as Heath hasn't let much get through down that side, as we see. Ball fairly...
The horn of Gondor's gone up in the boxes. Here's Undy. He works it in. Smashed away. But, yeah, Clarence have been really good in this first 15 minutes. They've come out and they've looked a much better side than the first half.
After hearing the horn of Gondor, you'd be
Yeah.
wondering who's going to be arriving to save this Clarence lineup, because
Thought
it's
that
going
was
to be a little bit of a hopeless case at the moment.
thought that was the horn of telling me to shut up.
Don't know if they've got Gandalf on the bench or not to come in and save the day, but they've got a couple on the bench, and by a couple I mean two, and they've already used one, so I'm not sure they've got a whole lot to go with there. As away by Vandermeek, Cartwright up against Hallard in the middle there. Now Undy works it back to the mountain. Hill to Allen. Gets his head up, plays it, looking for Mearns, but again Lewis was there and steers it away from him.
Just having a look at the team sheet, Clarence. I don't think they even have a reserve keeper on the bench, so heaven forbid if anything happens to Randall Darcy over there.
Randall Darcy. Jeez. He's had a few names tonight there, Cooper.
Darby Randall.
Smashed away by Hallard. But, well, I mean, you've got Price who's played every other position. I think we're calling for him in goal, so maybe he'll get the opportunity. Worked across to Allen. Now Lucas Hill. Hill. Jake's still not quite figured out the mute button on his phone as Hill works
Got
this
there
one
now.
forward. Burns, Cartwright looking to storm through the rampaging bull. Got it to Sklenage. Left it for Allen. Now Mearns Olympia just quite content to stroke the ball around here and make Clarence chase them. They're chasing shadows at the moment. Well anticipated though by Burgess, got in ahead of Cartwright, and structurally they're looking pretty good so far in this half, the Reds, making life difficult. Here's Mearns, looking to get on it again. It's a bit sloppy though, this time from Sklenage, and Clarence now can break. Allard waits for runners, none were coming, so he turns with it and then smashes it forward and couldn't pick out anyone. Didn't really think their way through that one there, the Reds.
Yeah, that was nice turn to get away from the Olympia players.
I think they're looking for that man in particular again.
I think so, as we see the ball laid down the right wing, but attempted clearance there from Matty Lewis, just skied in the air, and we'll see Olympia come down with it. We have a chance to redeem himself. Not sure if that's prevented the corner. It's actually gone out for a goal kick, so I'm not sure what the urgency was there from the Clarence players.
Bremner just perhaps thinking that Lewis had gotten the last touch on that one, I think, but fortunately for him, he hasn't given away a corner there.
Yeah, just talking about noticing the compact Clarence defence there, putting all 10 players plus keeper behind the ball there, not letting Olympia through at all, which has been a marked improvement in the second half. See how long that lasts, especially with, I guess, the lack of fresh legs they have off the bench tonight, as we see that throw-in launch forward there from Ribel, with no doubt Stewart to run onto it, and I think it's been dragged back there. And the cheese is out. I'm just trying to see who that'd be for, down on that corner there.
Is that tug to the substitute?
Allen.
Yeah, there's the new man, just probably not quite used to Jakey Stewart's pace, chasing everything down. Very good hustle there from the Clarence striker, who, as we've commented on before, has pretty much had to do it all himself tonight.
Just noticed that none of the centre-backs are going forward here for Clarence. Certainly worried about that threat that can be possessed by Sklenage in behind. It looks as though they've got Ribel over the ball.
Want to improve on his last delivery. This one, he's much better to the back post and headed wide of the mark in the end, but good delivery there from Ribel to pick a man out, and Clarence with a shot off target. Was Stewart heading up and nodding it wide.
Plenty of space there for the striker. I'm surprised Olympia not getting a little tighter there, as we'll see them build up from the back. Vandermeer striding forward. All played in defeat. Back to Cartwright. Back out wide to Hill.
Lovely ball from Hill in to Mearns.
That's a
But Matt Lewis, just a crunching challenge right there.
Crunching challenge from Lewis, as we'll see Cartwright turn on the ball, but no, looking for a free kick from the Poison Ivy, and I don't think that's going to be given, and we'll see the through ball laid through, but again, just a bit wasteful there from Clarence, and we'll see Cartwright back on the ball. Just kept in there on the left wing. And cutting inside with plenty, not really too many options there for Olympia. We'll play it back. End up with Gadawa, who's in a very deep position once he plays it forward to Sklenage. Rampaging forward run, just probably muscled off the ball there. Not kept in play. Nice ball whipped in. We see Sklenage up for the header. Probably creeping in the back post, but not enough pace on that header.
Real problem that I'm starting to see develop for this Clarence side is the amount of space that they're allowing between their midfield lines and the defence right here, because we just saw Sklenage pick up the ball in an acre of space, and with a player of that quality, you really cannot afford to let them get into advanced positions with a lot of room to roam in. And they look to this man, Sklenage again. Well challenged in there from George Hallard, who looks outside to Jeremy Price. Just belts it into Mearns. See this man, the new man that we're having a look at. Puts it inside to Undy. Undy's got Wadawu on the overlap here, but goes to Sklenage and can't get the 1-2 from him. Clarence recovered between Lewis and Price again. Lewis just looks up and Wadawu gets a strong header to that one, back down the line. Looks like Matty Lewis will comfortably shepherd it out for the goal kick.
So, South Hobart scouting mission departs the ground, I dare say, looking at that van leaving. They've seen enough of the Warriors. And I think we've added a goal on the scoreboard, just in case you're joining us. It's still 2-0, or 3-0 for the Warriors.
So that substitution, I think it's Mark Ortman.
The Biz.
Yeah, the Bees coming on, and Mearns is coming off after 70 minutes. I think it's just Kenny Weston there. Wanted to have a look at some different players. He hasn't had much of a run in the last few weeks as the Biz.
The Biz, I like him. He's a Western type player. I think little terror in the middle, moves the ball around nicely. And he'll come on and replace Mearns.
Yeah, probably a sensible decision there from Weston too, because Mearns was on a cheese quite early in this game, and we see the player Ortman get on the ball there, but he gives it away quickly and recovers well to try and win it back. But Naden does well to look outside to Heath, who plays it up the line to Jakey Stewart. Jakey Stewart just tipped away from his feet there by, I think, Vandermeer to win the corner for Clarence here. Nice little counter-attack down that side from Clarence, carrying a little bit of a threat. We'll just see Jeremy Price get over the ball here, I think. And they've set up Matty Lewis this time, you beauty. No, they haven't. He just popped over to have a drink, actually.
Dangerous ball, and that was Burgess, I think, getting his head to it. It's well wide of the mark, but again, some good delivery this time from Price into the middle of the box. And Burjo gets up and puts it wide of the post.
Nice. Looking to counter-attack here again. Down that far side. The ball just peters out, and all they really get out of it is a little bit of distance here. And to lock it in to their forward half here now, Olympia. Throw in to be taken by Heath. Heath hurls it up the line, but only as far as Cartwright. Hangs onto the ball and gets it back to Little. But he's just taking a poor touch under the challenge there from Burgess. Ball peters out for another corner to be taken again by Heath.
I've seen Cartwright absolutely everywhere. He was in front of that on the front post, and there he is down the corner there, and we've just seen him on the ball before, but see Clarence trying to attack. Oh, cleared forward from Olympia, and then cleared forward again by Clarence, and eventually Wadawu picks it up in the middle of the field, searches wide. One-on-one battle there, but keep cutting inside. I think that's
Bellini.
Yeah, it's Bellini's. For some reason I thought that was Little, and Wadawu picks it up in an unfamiliar central role. Harassed from behind there, but no foul given, and looking for the crossfield ball and just thumped into the Olympia player.
Lucas Hill.
Lucas Hill with a rather interesting pass come challenge. That's a great dummy run. You see Clarence attacking down the left-hand side. We'll see Vandermeer sliding in. I'm not sure.
We're going to see a shout, but I think he just got a little bit of a touch on the ball there from Vandermeer. Just perhaps the faintest of touches to prevent giving away the penalty.
Yeah, I think he got a little bit on that. Not too much, but
enough.
Probably just enough.
Just a little bit of a, perhaps just the one stud touching the ball even, but that's just enough for you to not give away the penalty there. So really good covering challenge there from, I think it was Vandermeer.
Got to say, Clarence have looked a lot more solid since moving to 5 at the back, dropping Bremen deeper. They've made life pretty difficult for the Warriors in this second half, getting those extra bodies behind the ball, stopping those nice little combination plays around the area that brought them undone in the first half. And
certainly becoming, I suppose it is a 5 at the back, but we're certainly seeing 3 centre-backs as a quality that's developing now again in football.
Yeah, swings and roundabouts, the tactics that get used, 4-3-3 all the rage for so long, but they are becoming more prevalent. And I've got to say, Bremner's been very good. He's dropped back. This has worked out wide to Wadawu in plenty of space on the right. He punches the ball into the box somehow. Under he flicked a goal, just wide of the mark. Well, that would have been quite a spectacular goal.
Yeah, I reckon
with venom by Wadawu.
And Undy is probably caused Randy Darble to have skid marks right there showing a touch like that, because that was just marvellous attempt at least to try and get the ball into the goal.
As we've given the keeper another name there, Randy Darble, the leaders. These are getting more and more ridiculous.
You know, it's always difficult when a bloke's got a last name as a first name.
And we're talking before again, a bit of spice just getting into this game here, a bit of verbal and the poison ivy.
Randy Darble. Randy Darble.
I couldn't let that one slide.
So I think we're going to see some cheese being dished out here. It's not sure if it's going to be for the Clarence player, and it is. I wish they'd turn around and actually giving out 2 pieces of cheese here. I think that's Lucas Hill.
Yeah, it's the Mountain who's already on a booking.
Oh, I did.
It was just a bit of pushing and shoving afterwards. And just cool heads prevailing in the end.
Don't mind
think
Randy
that's-
Darble for the bloke, though.
Yeah, Sam Ribel, I think's the other yellow card recipient there. Yeah, Randy Darble.
I'm just going to be going with Randy from now on for this goalkeeper because otherwise I'm going to keep butchering it.
So Clarence, a goal here would make things really interesting heading into the final 15 minutes. Still back to 2-1. They've done well to hang in there. They've had their chances, should have had a penalty, so it's a closer game than perhaps we thought after 20 minutes when it was threatening to be a rout, as this one's in the Bremner direction, headed away by Cartwright. Behind it goes.
Really love to see Clarence get one back right here and give us a little bit of tension for this last remaining 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not often you see teams that revert to a 5 at the back and then sort of pushing on, but I guess that can free up that extra defensive solidity, can free up some of the strikers or the wingers with that bit of security at the back, so we never know.
Certainly with the willingness that players like Hill have shown to get forward, could potentially open up a little bit more for the back as they're trying to get the overload on this 5 at the back that Clarence have changed to. Seeing Burgess get onto the ball now. He just knocks it back to Heath.
Might still be a back four, it's just that Bremner's dropping so deep whenever Olympia have the ball in midfield. I'm not sure. It looks a bit like that. He's pushing up when they're in possession now, but 2-0 down, they've got to chase the game. He gets on the ball now here, Bremner, and chips it forward. Looking for Stewart, and he was brought down afterwards. Just getting a little
Call it a
chippy
real
out there at the moment.
Makalele roll, is it? He's played sticking right nice and close to his centre back.
Oh, crunching challenge from Cartwright. He wins the ball.
Oh, great cheese, O'Neill. Great cheese. He was off to the races there. He said, all right, I'll take the card. I'll take it for the team. That is brilliant from O'Neill.
Yeah. Always a good cheese to take that one because Wadawu was on the overlap too, and you're just worried that for the first time, probably in the last hour of actual match play, that Olympia could have really overloaded them and just scored the other one here.
Smart yellow card there from the experienced centre-back. He's
Being taken about 5 metres back, which you don't really see very often in football. Players usually keen to take it a couple of metres forward. They get going again here, Olympia through Undy, who just slips over on the greasy turf. Ball's knocked back to Vandermeer. Just look to get things going again here. Played it in well to the feet of Bellini, but he couldn't quite turn out of trouble and create an opportunity for Sklanage. Been reasonably quiet after that first 20 minutes, Sklanage. You have to say it's probably got a lot to do with that role that Bremner's been playing. I've been actually quite impressed with how they adapted to the opening 20 minutes, and perhaps if they'd lined up this way from the start, Clarence could be right in this game.
Matt Lewis has been exceptional in the second half too, jumping in, reading the intent of the balls into the feet and snuffing them out before they can develop. He's been fantastic in the second half, and they've looked a different team at the back, Clarence, in the second half.
There'd be times when I'd accuse you of just spruiking your mate right there, but I have to say that I agree with you. He has been really good because he's just been one of those almost Godron-like, really willing to jump in and win the ball back in a higher up position, showing great anticipation out there, Matt Lewis.
Yeah, we've made a few references today to Coach Clarence Jablonski just being a bit of a tinker man, but maybe he's found something here that might work for the future. I mean, after a couple of 5-0 defeats in recent weeks, this last hour has been certainly a lot more impressive than I've seen them lately.
Yeah, over the top is Little, and now the business Altman. He defers instead to Cartwright, who's going to argue with Big Shanos. And maybe the Biz should have taken it, because that was not particularly pretty from Cartwright. Sprays it wide. Now to play, and Clarence take it quickly down the line for the industrious Stewart. Real tight to him, and just starting to get a little frustrated, a few of these Olympia players. There's a few barking orders at each other out there. Not sure they're entirely comfortable in this match, and I think that's what Jablonski was saying at the press conference this morning. Clarence needs to become a hard team to beat again. They need to be a side that, if you're going to beat us, you're going to come off after 90 minutes and think, yeah, we earned that. We've not had that this year, but I think that'll be the case today. Headed for by Burgess. Naden looking to get on it. Cartwright away, surrounded by red shirts, and just with strength held it off. Sliding in there was Little. Well, Schlenar, sorry. That was Little.
Still down as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
looks hurt.
really copped quite a whack to probably around his shin or ankle area there, and it's not really surprising that he's staying down after that. We're just obscured the view there by Bellini, but
I think
really
we can
think that
imagine.
he's potentially copped a pretty painful one right there.
See some nice sportsmanship there, despite the niggle in the game. A bit of cramp help for Bellini there.
Certainly a whack right there, but probably an impact injury, really, rather than anything which you can jump up and get going again from. Looks to be taking off the boot though, which is often something that's not recommended. Situations where you could swelling up. A little bit of concern here for Olympia. They wouldn't want a player of the quality of Little to go down.
He's getting back to his feet now, all right. You can just see by the vapour out there how bloody cold it must be out there. Quite nice up here in the media box. Don't mind doing games here at Warrior Park when we've got the upstairs here.
I'm absolutely toasty.
Yeah, lovely with the heater.
Yeah, cheers, George.
Been looked after beautifully.
Probably not looked after as well as you would be in the Mamarcus private lounge that we pass on the way up here. But still, very good.
So, is there going to be a substitution on the Warriors bench here? Bellini looks like he's going to be replaced here. And Samet coming on for him. So perhaps a defensive move, that one. Samet playing at fullback. He comes on for Bellini, who probably faded out of it in the second half, but I thought the first half he was very impressive. He's Cartwright dropping really deep to get the ball. He sends it wide. 10 minutes now for Clarence to try and get something out of this game. The Warriors, I think, would be happy just to see through the 90 now. Certainly been made to work for it. And after the writing was on the wall for a bit of a one-sided game early, they've responded well, and the Warriors found it hard to break through. Naden does really well there, and now he looks to storm forward. Well cut out by Cartwright. Hallard dwells on the ball. And shields it from Allen. Cartwright comes in support, so back to O'Neill he goes. He smashes it once again to no one in particular.
That man in particular has been busy tonight, you have to say. He's been a good outlet for the Clarence boys.
Here's Cole. Lucas Hill, the mountain, looking to carry it forward here. He's got Undy making a bursting run for him. Instead he looks in the Wadawa direction. Undy also there. Lewis tracking it back and did well to see it away from him, Lewis. Gets it behind for the corner kick.
You know, if the game had begun in the 23rd minute, you would have to say that he's been the best player on the pitch today, Matty Lewis. He's certainly had his hands full and dealt with it pretty well from then on out.
Yeah, got his colours lowered on that second goal, but certainly been very good ever since. And offering short here is the business, and they go in that direction. He centres it for Cartwright. Bang! Shane Cartwright thumps it in the back of the net, and there's the Warriors' third. They make safe the points. Big Shaney Cartwright gets on the end of that. The Biz just squares it up for him.
Yeah.
And he rockets it home.
Lovely little pass inside there from Mark the Business Ortman and put it into the perfect spot for Cartwright to just belt that. Looked like he almost took it with his laces too. And you have to say that there is no way back here for this Clarence team.
Yeah, I certainly think that is the final nail in any potential Clarence comeback. And unfortunately the keeper was just probably unsighted, had a sea of bodies in it, and Cartwright's hit that with such venom. I mean, unless that was right at his face, he's probably got no chance of saving that.
Yep. Looking certainly more venomous than old Poison Ivy out there tonight. Oh, I nearly got themselves into a bit of trouble there, Olympia.
Yeah,
Jeremy Price bearing down on Cole. They look to get going again. Burgess just tips over the top to Hallard. More like a dance floor than a football pitch down there for a second with the amount of bodies around the ball there.
Yeah, certainly a crowded, like a nice
Mosh pit.
Yeah. We'll see Olympia ending up with the ball and just throwing it back to the trusty centre half pairings who'll eventually spread it out wide as we see Vandermeer.
Oh, look at
on
this
the
overlap
ball.
that we've got on here. This is just fantastic ball outside, but a poor touch from Little. And Heath looks to break forward and just gets the arm across from Little, who probably deserves a slice of cheese for that one, you'd have to say, and duly obliged by Poison Ivy.
Yeah, another smart professional slice of cheese there. That's for Little. Yeah, very good spot by you, Jake Morgan, on that lung-busting run, but yeah, just his touches let him down and his reward's been a cheese.
Yeah. He got himself into a good spot, but always a slice of cheese when you get your hands across grabbing at the shirt like that, and they're going to lump it into the box. Looks like Hallard took it. Oh, and it's Bremner who gets up, but straight down the throat of Cole, who looks willing to get this going pretty quickly. Hallard gets a touch there, but the ball only goes as far as Cartwright, and what a turn from Cartwright. Finds the overlapping substitute from Olympia, and it looks to go to Schlenner again, but
tell you what, that's an absolutely fantastic tackle from O'Neill there. If he doesn't get his left foot in front of there, I'm pretty sure it was Allen
just have a look
down there.
Have a look at the replay there. Bremner getting up for the header. A really good chance there for Clarence to get one back. Nothing doing for them, unfortunately. Mark the Business Ortman looks to get in. But just fouled again by the man with the header at the goal before Bremner. Free kick in a very dangerous spot for Olympia to potentially make it 4 here. And Wadawu looking to add to his assists record this season.
He takes it quickly to Cartwright, who chips it in the box. Lewis stuck out a foot into the path of Undy, who puts it over the top when he probably should have
finished.
Definitely. Nicely worked. It was fortuitous in it, rolling straight into Undy's path there. Lewis making the block. And Undy, unable to direct it on target, just puts it over the bar.
Probably got to finish that, Undy, I think.
Randy Randall there, certainly looking a little bit worried.
And we see Wadawu back on the ball. Game's just sparked to life a bit the last 5 minutes. You'll see Lucas Hill out in right wing. It deletes a nice ball. Wadawu, and a fantastic save from Randall. He's flown through the air.
It's a beautiful save, you have to say. And he's made a couple of them tonight. And that was a lovely little move from the Olympia Warriors with Wadawu carrying the threat outside. They're going to look to take it quickly again here. Just chipped up to that far post, but well defended by Hallard. Probably not well defended when you think that that's ended up right in the middle of his 6-yard box, actually, come to think of it. But good free kick to the Olympia Warriors.
I think if he wasn't fouled, he would have boomed that header out, I think, Jake Morgan. But yeah, Wadawu with the improvisation with the knee, it's actually probably more difficult for the keeper to save. He's got to kind of stay still for a minute, so that's a fantastic save. But, yeah, nice bit of feeling going on in this game. We'll see the throw-in being taken by Little. Poison Ivy's well on the whistle here and just wants to have a quick chat. Might be a bit of verbal between Heath and I think that's Joel Samet, who's just a bit of a shirt pull. Don't think there's much in that, to be honest.
He's calming things down as we enter the final few minutes. Olympia running the game out pretty well. They've been made to win these points tonight. Clarence have been resilient, but the favourites will get the job done. Maintain top spot on the table. Of course, more games coming your way tomorrow. We'll be live streaming out of Buckby Land Rover Park with the Zebras travelling up under David Smith. They'll be taking on Launceston City, a resurgent Launceston City, it has to be said. Have really turned a corner in the last couple of weeks. Northern Rangers travel up to take on Devonport at Valley Road, and down at the Den, well, the Kimbra Lions will be looking for a bit of redemption when they play South Hobart. Last time they met, it was not pretty, so they'll want to reverse that result. And
Mufasa Markar certainly would have been mad after that game, you have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. It was looking very much like he was more of a scar-type figure after that one, but they've turned a corner in the last few weeks. The results have picked up a little. They should get a few points on the board, but we'll see how much they've improved when they take on South Hobart tomorrow.
Playing a 3-2-5 for a while, and then switched to the 8-1-1 almost for a little bit there, Kimbra.
Flip the magnets. They absolutely have. That's all coming your way tomorrow. A big Saturday in the NPL. And also the Warriors will start that day off with a nice little gap on top of the table. Clarence with a late free kick here, and they send the bodies forward. Dangerous ball. Cole does well to come out and show a strong pair of hands and collect that one.
Cole with the distribution. God, I can't even talk anymore as we see Wadawu picks the ball up, plays it inside, gets the ball back. Cartwright storming forward again. The overlapping run there from the wing, but just kind of hit in between there. So we see Little back on the ball. Back to Vandermeer. Not sure we'll see too much attacking from Olympia, but we see Hill stride forward. Picks the ball up to Undy. Cartwright's in plenty of space in the centre of the park and under not much pressure. Same with Undy as well. They've got time just to play it between them, and Cartwright's just going to jink past. Rival jink past again. Hits the byline and, not quite the best cross, but he just allowed plenty of space there. Cartwright, with the game he's had so far, I'm surprised they let him have that much room.
A little bit of steam going out of this Clarence team, perhaps being 3-0 down in the 89th minute to allow him to make a little run like that, but fortunately for them, cannot wrap it around to make it 4.
See, it's Samet coming back on the pitch after a bit of a blood roll.
So we tick to stoppage time now. You're better players in this one, gentlemen.
I've been very impressed with Cartwright's bustling display from Olympia in the centre of the park here. Just been absolutely everywhere.
Been the best on.
Yeah, what you want from your box-to-box midfielder, and he's played that all day. Look, if we're going by the first 23 minutes, I'd say Schlanage. If we're going by the other 67, I'd say he's opposite number Lewis.
So we're going by the 90 pulse, so add them together and tell me what you reckon.
Right,
Little fix this
I'm
one up.
going to give some credit to Randy Darble. He has made about 3 or 4 good saves here today, and it could have been a lot worse for this Clarence United side without a couple of good saves from him, and there's certainly been no howlers from him on those goals.
Nothing you can do about either of them. Yeah, Sklenage's game is definitely an interesting one. At the end of the day, he had a couple of chances early, buried them both. Hasn't done a lot since, but you'd take 2 goals from your striker every time.
He's got to get one more for me.
Yeah, he's not really had the chances in the second half as the business duels with Burgess here, and he just wins it nicely away there. Does the biz. He's got an overlapping run wide on the left. He sends it in that direction. Now thinking about a pop is Little from long range, but it's rising and well over the bar in the end. As Mamarcus just shows some checkers.
Beautiful touch.
Let's have a look at that on the replay if you don't mind.
Should start playing again. There you go, Mamarcus.
Flicks it up to himself.
We don't
Eyes
mind
on
it.
the ball. Lovely touch there from El Presidente.
Is this one blown for a free kick, I think? I'm just going to do the throw in.
I think we got the free kick.
Free kick. Bell standing over this one, and Clarence grab themselves a consolation marker. They'll swing this one in. Goes in the middle of the box. Plenty of bodies there, but Cole comes over the top and punches away. Will track this one down, prevent the corner. Biz wants it short, and he goes in that direction. Sprays it across the pitch now to Allen. And the Warriors just knocking it around the back as we...
Yeah, the sting's gone out of the game now. We really haven't seen anybody snapping into challenge probably over the last 15 minutes, and they're looking quite comfortable here, the Olympia Warriors, and we'll probably look for a 4th in. If we're going on anything by the first half, there'll probably still be 4 minutes of extra time to come.
And that's a foul, which is blown, and Wadawu will pick himself up a dose of cheddar as well. Plenty of cheese is dished out today. It's been a rather chippy contest.
And you always want to see that in the derby, don't you?
Yeah, very much so. Typical derby in that regard.
Speaking of derbies,
he's going to take this one.
Randy Darble over the ball.
And he's just said, I'll have this one. I fancy having a hit. Send this one to the box. Try and chalk up an assist late on, perhaps. What's he got in his locker? He swings this one.
Beautiful.
Lucas Hill is there. Away by Vandermeer. It might sit. Oh, Cartwright just beautifully took it away from Rybell and then releases Wadawu, and they're on here. They've got 4 on 3. Straight through the middle. Oh, he left it behind, didn't he? But they've still got the numbers. Samet charges into the box and puts it into the side netting. And Undy, well, not his sharpest work there.
Glennar is
They want the hat trick,
He
yeah.
wanted that hat trick right there.
Yeah, I'm not happy about it too with my prediction early on in the game there from Undy.
Glorious opportunity there from Olympia. Luckily they're 3-0 up. So that's a lovely chip through ball by Samet Little. Jinks past, absolutely skins Bremner and looks inside to Glennar. Falls
Undy?
to Undy and boom! Undy with the four.
Just takes it with the laces and belts it into that left-hand side of the goal there. Really good shot there from Hugh Undy.
Yeah, wonderful technique there from Hugh Undy. Just had time, space on the D. It's the kind you practice before training, just belting it in. And, yeah, lovely finish there from Undy. So we'll see that again. Wonderful skill there down on the flank. Left by Glennar, and Undy just goes bang.
With the laces. And when you're hitting him that hard, it's always going to be very difficult for your goalkeeper to stop it, even one who has been as decent today as Randy Darble.
Yeah, I was just thinking that 4-0, and I would say none of them have been Randy's fault.
That will be all she wrote as Ivan brings this one to an end. A 4-0 victory for the Olympia Warriors in the derby. It was a pretty good game of football. They certainly were made to earn it. They got a couple late on, perhaps the fitness and the extra legs showing there at the end, but the Warriors get the expected result. It was wrapped up fairly early in truth when they skipped out to a 2-0 lead. Certainly had Clarence got that penalty, it might have been a different second half, but they never really looked like they were going to get back level, and the Warriors were had to work for it, but good value for their win in the end, I think, lads.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment of things so far. I was really impressed with finally getting a look at Cartwright in the middle of the pitch, and just holds up the ball so well. Such a multi-dimensional, multifaceted player. He's probably been the best on for me here today, and he added a goal for himself with a lovely little shot at the edge of the box. So I think I'm going to give him the man of the match today, but I've also been quite impressed by the efforts of Matt Lewis, Warren Wadawu and Bellini out there before he was substituted today.
Yeah, I certainly thought the wing play of Bellini and Wadawu certainly opened up Clarence, especially in that first 25 minutes, and putting it on the plate there for Schlenage, who, yeah, look, as we talked about in the commentary, had a very good first 25 minutes and then sort of went disappearing. But no, I'll concur with you, Jake Morgan, and say Cartwright's definitely man of the match here tonight, and a comfortable 4-0 win for Olympia over Clarence.
Been a pleasure calling this one with you, gentlemen. Thank you for your efforts this evening. The stream will be back tomorrow when we head up north for the Italian derby with Hobart Zebras travelling up to meet Launceston City. Do join us for that one, but on this Friday night, a frosty Friday night here at Warrior Park, it's Olympia 4, Clarence 0.
I've done about 70 hours worth of work this week.